Coach Walker, thank you for taking time with this Off the Block vlog. Let's just start with this match. In the first and third of this match, you guys kept it close early on, especially in the probably first half of each set, and then UCLA took control. UCLA took control with a 13-5 run at the end of the first set, and took control on a 9-0 run towards the end of the third set. What did they do during those sets to take control?
I think their servers, we only have, I think, maybe like 2 or 3 guys that can hit the speeds they hit with their entire rotational lineup. And so I think for us, serve receive made it a little tough. Serve receive started to fall a little apart, balls off, route system. And I thought they did a great job at staying disciplined at the net, and just trying to get forehands on everything. We had there's a couple of situations where they had 6 across, and it's a little tough to hit across that block. I mean, once they close, it's a tough one. So, but no, I thought they made some really good adjustments as far as what we were trying to do along the net. And then, of course, backer defense, I thought they did a great job of just touching the ball and being able to get their second swing on the transition. So,
on a very surface level, it seems also UCLA had an advantage in terms of size. Was that
for sure
also a factor?
Yeah, for us in the IVA, we have teams now that they have physicality. Like Penn State, Princeton. They have 7-foot middle blockers. It's definitely something that we've seen the size, but to see size and the athleticism, with John bringing them recruiting a ton of just arms. They have live arms everywhere on the floor. I think that's something we're not used to seeing. Also, where you have as skilled players that are big and athletic on the floor. It makes it a little tough.
You knew that coming in that you guys would be not favored to win this match. That being said, were you happy with your team's performance?
I told her it's funny. Our numbers, as far as 19 kills, 18 airs, and then it's pretty much 18-18 if you take away our libero getting a free ball kill. Those are the numbers that we haven't had all year. I told our guys that offensively, this is probably one of the worst games we've ever had. And so, I didn't think we served as aggressively from the back line. But again, we minimized the 10 service errors, and that's kind of been the thing that's haunted us this season. So for once, our serving was a little more consistent, and our attacking was not. So from the game, I just told them that we came in here with a learning experience. So our road swing here is really to get us focused for our second half of conference. And that's really just what our mindset's on. So, we told them, we said that, how much did we change our offensive game because of the size of the block? And, I thought some of our guys missed some really great good ball situations. I think they tried to overplay it too much or try to miss the block instead of letting the block interfere with some of the play. So, I think there's a lot of takeaways from it, but I told the guys they should be happy that our serve receive actually was, our two outsides, I thought, did a good job at handling the speed of the serve, especially since it was, server after server. So,
were you guys, or was your team disappointed not to be able to play in Poly tonight?
I think it was a little half and half. I think, obviously here they really want that experience when they came out. I think in some ways, I know for us, they came out in warm-ups and looked really good. We had practice yesterday here this morning, and so I thought it's a good gym, and this is similar to what our conference sees a lot. I think the only gym that's similar to Poly would be kind of more like a rec hall, like just a bigger place to play. So other than that, I think they were maybe a little disappointed about it, but not too bad.
You mentioned your road swing. You play Long Beach State tomorrow night and USC on Sunday. How do you prepare for those teams on such quick notice?
I think our guys are pretty used. We had a couple matches this year where we had 4 in a row. We had 2 weeks of that. And I know for us, the guys they're really responsive, kind of the turnaround time that we have. So, Long Beach State tomorrow, we've already kind of discussed. The guys have watched a lot of film on all 3 teams this weekend. So tomorrow we kind of just organize a little bit more, kind of just focus on the personnel a little bit, and they should be good, good to go. Our biggest thing is how much are we confident about our game and making teams adjust a little bit more to us versus us just going with the whole defensive, mapping of it. So I hope our guys do a really good job at just saying, this is our game, what we want to do, make them stop us a little bit, keep the focus a little more even versus us just thinking about how to stop balls on their floor. But again, against UCLA tonight, I think we were focused a little more defensively versus offensively, with UCLA getting 41 kills, at the net compared to our 19. So I think that's, again, the mentality we got to just kind of balance out a little bit more.
Can you preview those matches for us? The Long Beach State and USC matches. What do you see on film that really stands out to you?
Yeah, Long Beach State. I mean, they're on a whole different level. I was talking to Brad about for the game about them and Pete's one at Ohio State, and those guys are just on a whole different tier. So for us, I think part of ours is how much do we fight? I mean, I think that's kind of the phrase that we've been talking about. A lot of coaches mention that, but our guys being able to battle. In the EIVA, I mean, we predicted bottom of the conference, preseason poll. And after the first half, we're sitting at second. We just talked to the guys about we've had some disappointing losses, the games that we didn't feel that we definitely should have lost. But accountability. I mean, going into Long Beach, we want to keep focusing on those things that are going to help us in conference. So, if a guy goes off and is serving mid 70s at us, and we get aced, that's not something we're going to sweat so much because we won't see that in conference. So, but some of our offensive stuff when we are at the net, like tonight, I talked to the setters about. We didn't stick to our game plan of what we wanted to do, and I think that broke what our tradition is. I think for us not being the most physical team in the IVA, I think strategically, I think we've done some really good things, and I thought tonight wasn't a very good showcase of that. So USC, I think that'll be a really good battle. I think Harvard, lost to them in 5, and I thought they played a really tough game. And what's going on there? I thought they played a really tough game, and I'd like to think that we'll represent our conference well and go in there and hopefully end the road swing with some really good competitive volleyball, especially on Sunday.
You mentioned to me before we recorded that you have a couple of California kids. So, what did you try to incorporate on the trip to make them happy that come back home?
I think it's really great. The family is really rallied around it. So I know they've been. They had a couple like tomorrow night in Long Beach. They have. They're renting out a part of a restaurant, so the guys get to hang out there, the families and stuff like that. So they've done a really good job. I know one of the dads put together a Facebook group and is trying to really keep people included and stuff. And especially here, I thought it was nice. We had a really good gathering of Sacred Heart people and all local Californians and families flying in and. But yeah, we flew out early, a day early, just so the guys could acclimate and just relax. And we have a really just chill group of guys, and we're trying to just keep that rolling. So, but yeah, it's been great actually coming out here. Especially Sacred Heart was very nice enough, to let us come out, especially during classes. So they're missing 3 days of class, and but it worked out. I mean, I think it worked out really well. Guys rested last over spring break, so can't complain.
You mentioned that you guys were number 7 in the preseason EIVA poll, and you guys are number 2 right now. What has been the biggest reason for that upswing?
I think in our conference, especially with the serving, I mean, we're typically we typically can get a rhythm going off the service line, and that's saved us in some 5-set matches, being able to come back against the really good teams in our conference. And but our service team is really strong. We have Josh Eisenberg, from Long Beach. Really, he's really like just pulling our service team and our defense together. We have a bigger block than I think we've typically had, which has helped. But Josh really keeps our service team as far as like dictating how we're doing it, what we're doing, and being able to adjust. He's done a really great job, and I've been happy with our 2 other outsides. I mean, in our entire team, they've really stepped up on what is expected out of them in their roles, especially in service team. But I like to think now we're probably one of the stronger, for sure, service team teams I think in our conference, with Josh behind us, and that's helped us, I think, against some of the better, more physical teams in our conference, just by keeping the ball spread around a little bit. So that's helped.
You took the name out of my mouth when I was doing some research. He was the one that stood out to me on leading the country in digs per set. Let's talk about the second half of the EIVA conference. What will you guys need to do to win the regular season crown?
I think the one thing we've really battled has been our just consistency off the service line. We know we have some guys that can do some really great things, and it's just translating what happens in practice. I think like a ton of these coaches can say the same thing about translating the practice and getting them to translate that into the game. And I mean, we got guys now that are hitting just right below 70, pretty well in practice. But again, it's how to get that mindset going to the service line for us in games. Early season, I think Francis, a couple of those games, we've had like 24, 25 service errors. which has just haunted us. And those are games that will hit some of our best numbers offensively. But second half, we really got to focus on just keep our serve pass game consistent where we are, and then just try to get a little bit more consistency from our offense as well. We have some hot and cold nights, but everyone across the country battles that.
You are obviously in the EIVA, and your commissioner's Yvonne Marquez. What can you tell us about him that we might not know, and what does he mean to you?
It's funny. One of my mentors was Tom Tate, and so him being like a longtime friend and coach that was at Penn State in the conference. I hear about Yvonne and working with the commissioner of our conference and the good promotion and work he does. I think he's definitely he shows us kind of just true servant leadership, and especially with his battle right now and the support that especially with Sloan Kettering and cancer, and it hits home really a lot of the work he's done to promote just wellness, and we have a guy, one of our own right now, battling Trent Thompson from Hawaii, battling Hodgkin lymphoma, and so I think Yvonne at the top of our conference, I think it says a lot about him whenever he's not only is he battling himself, but he's really pushing to just educate and to drive support behind those causes, and so I think that's the biggest thing that stands out to me and really means a lot in our conference and our school.
Perfect placement by one of your players behind you. Has the Play for Trent shirt.
Yeah.
What's the bottom say on that shirt?
So for us, I'm gonna butcher it, but it's one of those things that I know. That we had two guys on our team last year that were from Hawaii, and one of them gave us the idea about just battle. I mean, it's and being able to fight, and so that's kind of what that phrase comes from. And so I'll just let everyone else figure out how to do that. But yeah, so that's the biggest thing right now with Trent. We're trying to keep in touch. We're trying to do some really good things to Sacred Heart. The team's kind of rallied around it, and I know we're going to send out a promotion here, hopefully soon, to all the men's programs about just kind of raising support for him and being able to battle it and be able to help him get back to being a Sacred Heart and competing on the court. But I know that he's great friends with Micah Christensen, who sets for the Nationals with John, and but I think it's an incredible thing to see him to just be positive about this, and then the way that his teammates have kind of rallied around it this season. I think that it gave us a reason to really fight this year. I mean, it really does. So when we say about that, just being like the fight and the battle, it really is. These guys play for their teammates, so it's a really good thing. That's
awesome. Final question for you. You are also the U.S. men's national team sitting volleyball coach. What has your experience been being that coach, and how has that? What lessons have you taken away from being that coach that you brought to Sacred Heart and vice versa?
Yeah. I think the both sides of it. The international game's a little bit different. I think John would agree with that. It's a little different than the college game, and for sitting, a lot of the components are the exact same. Besides just the movement, and I think it's really it's kind of changed my mindset of a little bit more the details with in sitting. It's so fast because it's a small court and the ball's still coming just as fast. So, I know with our guys it's helped with training. So I know for scouting, we're a little bit more detail oriented with some things. But it's been a really great balance. I've been able to kind of pull from both sides. I know on the indoor, we use some setting mentality or drill stuff. That's, I think, helped our offensive production in our conference. And then on vice versa, for sitting, we take a lot of the college structure, and we're bringing that to our sitting game. And I think it's helped out, because again, it's like kind of a mirror what John's doing here with the indoor team, is what we're trying to build that type of culture on the sitting side. So it's really cool. And I was just talking to John about doing a little bit more together, with both programs and just helping kind of promote it and even get some of the older indoor guys to sit down and play and help us train a little bit more, because we play against some of the tallest people in the world. With Iran, a guy who's 8'2", so he's the third tallest man in the world. So it's a little tough when you don't see that obviously in practice. So, but trying to get some of the older guys maybe in the gym and just helping us see some bigger physicality, good volleyball players would be, I think, helpful. So I know that's something we're talking about.
Well, thank you for taking time with us off the block blog. Best of luck the rest of the season, and safe travels throughout the rest of the trip and back to Connecticut.
Awesome. Thank you.